So, the next question about alignment is, once you're aligned, like, how do you manifest what you want into desired form, right? It is through alignment first that what you want can manifest into desired form. How do you let your root, which is your truth, become your reality? In alignment, we are letting our core root, our truth, become a living reality. And the answer is being in your alignment. This is how, before this happens, this has to happen, right? We can't be scattered. In alignment, our realities, meaning what is truth for us, what's on the horizon for us, who do you want to become? This is constantly evolving and changing after every few months or every few years. And there's certain times in astrology where we have major moments where we are literally being called into creating a new reality. For our own astrological charts, that's like the Saturn return. Saturn, which is the pattern, the planet of karma, has done a full loop. And so you finished a cycle of challenges, and now you're at your 30 age mark, and now you're ready for the creation of the new greater expression of yourself, since a certain karmas have been cleared. Same thing as 60, the Saturn return happens again. So that's just one example of how in creation, in the universe, in the cosmos, we are given these time points of creating new realities and versions of ourselves. And there's many other time points, like birthdays, for example, right? So sometimes we're called to do an inner inventory of thoughts and behaviors. What is outdated for me? We have to literally say, what's outdated for me? And sometimes we know what's outdated, but to just even clarify it and like say it to ourselves can consolidate that new preferred reality into manifestation. And when we call out what's outdated for me and we write it down, we're literally strengthening that understanding that my old self is no longer me. So this is part of the principle of flow and change. I'm not what I was. And so to be in alignment, we have to embrace this principle of flow and change, which is I'm not what I was. And so we have to embrace that. And I was doing a talk a few weeks ago, and I talked about this similar topic. And I was saying that how, because the past, present, and future is all happening right now in the quantum realm, our future self is constantly communicating to us through dream states, through intuition, through experiences, saying, hey, this first future version of me is calling me, and it's telling me now, come meet me, come become me, embody me. And so we're always having these experiences, whether we know it or not. And so intuition is you actually tapping into a future timeline or a future version of yourself that is a desired state of what your essence wants for you. And that's one part of what I believe intuition is. Of course, there's a lot more to that. So when your future self, you can literally feel her, she's there, you can sense it in your energy. What is this next version of me? You can sense it in your energy because you're giving so many cues over the past few months or years about this new self that you're being called to become. And your consciousness and mind and higher self is communicating with you, saying, Rameet, this is no longer in service to you. This pattern, this way of being is no longer in service. It doesn't serve you anymore. Like, we have to start to honor that maybe a future self is telling us there's another way of being that seems more aligned for us, because we're getting constantly out of old karmic patterns and cycles, right? So the question that I have for you, which we're going to look at right now, is what are some situations that you have outgrown? Like, just doesn't feel comfortable anymore, doesn't feel true for me anymore. It could be it could be in the realm of relationships, such as patterns in relationships, family, work, how you tackle tasks, how you live your routines. So I'm going to have you take your paper and your pen, and we're gonna take a few minutes to just journal this. Okay, so I'm gonna have you write down A, relationships, which could be patterns, thoughts, habits. work, lifestyle, anything. Okay, so these are just some of the areas you're gonna think about. So go ahead and journal out what some situations that you have been finding more recently. More recently, you have been finding that you have outgrown more recently. Okay. So the past few weeks, past few days, past month or so, there's some things that keep coming up in your consciousness, and your higher self is saying, look at this. And you're saying, this is not me anymore. It feels uncomfortable, and you're kind of wanting to change it. So I want you to take a moment and journal about that. And these are just reference points to areas that could be applicable. So go ahead and start that. You are stepping into a version of you that is even more of who you are, more of your true self, more of your essence, more of your empowered self. You imagine that you're stepping into her in the next few months. What is your more empowered true self? What does she stand for? What does she no longer do anymore? Reach towards your fuller self by describing what you would no longer do and what you would do. I'm outgrowing the situation of dispersion of my energy, and I'm noticing that I've been asking myself this question for the past few weeks, few days actually. Is this what I really want, or am I doing it because somebody wants it from me or wants it of me? And then in another way, I asked the question, if this person didn't ask for this or want this, would I still want to do it, or would I still do it? So I've just been thinking more about obligation versus my core truth. And if I'm doing something out of obligation because somebody's wanting it from me, then I feel like they're actually pulling me into their energy in the direction, and that's not serving me. I'm letting go of the fear of missing out, because I'm in community setting and people do a lot of things, and the fear of missing out self is starting to kind of dissolve, because I'm starting to focus more on the value of me being with myself and recognizing that when I'm in my stillness and in my meditation and my own inner work, that actually is a more valuable space for me than being with other people. That's actually like the powerful space for me. So for me, just like choose that over something else, if that's what you need right now to be with yourself. And then I've been working with confidence in the divine as the director. So for me, that looks like being comfortable with being more aware of what is the divine guidance coming through, versus trying to do something with my mind or ego because I think it's what I should do. Mm-hmm. So more of taking directions from the divine, from my inner divine. So that's sort of been, what I've been working on as the newer self that's emerging. And these old patterns have been starting to shift out of my life.